Hey guys, Script here with another video, and I've seen this poster making the rounds on Twitter. Was Sith a derogatory slur used by the Jedi? And I just don't understand how this could even be real. I don't understand how an article like this could be written. I don't understand how a media outlet could entertain this, and I'll explain why. The Acolyte has finally revealed the identity of its mysterious Sith Lord, but it may be retconning Sith history in the process. The Acolyte Episode 5 showed a Jedi massacre at the hands of May's master, who was revealed to be Qimir. The action-packed episode was truly thrilling and jam-packed with amazing lightsaber duels, compelling storytelling, and the tragic deaths of so many Jedi. That's a very, very positive spin. One of the biggest revelations came from Qimir, who revealed that the Jedi would consider him a Sith. It had been speculated since before the Acolyte's release that the masked Sith would actually be revealed to not be a Sith at all, but instead just a dark side user, similar to how Kylo Ren was a dark side user but not a Sith in The Force Awakens, which they just make that up. And I don't know why they did that, because what was the point of saying that Kylo Ren wasn't a Sith? What was the gain there? It just stinks of, oh, we're creative, so we don't, it's not a Sith, even though he was trained by a guy who was trained by a Sith. Snoke was created by Palpatine, who's a Sith, trained by Palpatine, who's a Sith, but somehow he wasn't a Sith, and then he trained Kylo, and he's not a Sith. They literally do everything Sith do. They wield Sith weapons. It doesn't make any sense that they're not Sith, but they just say, oh, he's not a Sith. See how creative we are? We wrote a new type of villain. And people are falling for it. It's nuts. It's nuts to me. And what was the gain there of making Kylo not a Sith? Or non-Sith, or whatever the heck they're trying to pull? What was the benefit? What did that do? Nothing. Like, he pretty much was one. You might as well just say he was one. Plus, he was obsessed with his grandfather, who was a Sith. Plus, then we find out at the end of Rise of Skywalker, or during Rise of Skywalker, that Palpatine was every voice in his head. Palpatine's a Sith. But he's not a Sith. I don't know how people fall for this crap. And I don't know why they went that road anyway. Like, just call him a Sith, who cares? However, Qimir's confirmation still raises some questions about his allegiances and what his ultimate goal is. In Qimir's speech to Master Soul, in which he describes what he is, why would you call it a speech? It was just like 3 sentences. Qimir responds, You might call me a Sith. While this isn't anything concrete, Qimir's phrasing suggests that the term Sith doesn't come from the dark side users, but the Jedi. Actually, it doesn't come from either, and I'll explain in a minute. Seeing as many of Qimir's acts in the Acolyte Episode 5 pointed out the hypocrisy of the Jedi and how the Jedi were the ones who created the rules, Qimir may just be putting what he is on a field that Soul and other Jedi can understand. He does everything Sith do. This is getting stupid, guys. What's the point of not calling him a Sith? What's the point of that? What is the gain? No, I mean it. Like, what's the gain? What's the purpose? It doesn't make any sense. Everything he does is Sith. Everything. But he's not. Like, why? And you get in these arguments on Twitter. He's not a Sith. But what's the point of him not being one? Because he's doing everything they do anyway. Like, why not just leave it alone? It's stupid. While this is only a hint, this theory may have some merit, although Qimir's statement could suggest that he isn't a true Sith, like so many have theorized. It's possible that the term Sith is a catch-all term that the Jedi applied to any dark side user. No, it isn't. Qimir may not identify with the term Sith, and would consider himself part of a different order. See, this is where Qimir may not identify with the term Sith. And this is the whole thing with this non-Sith nonsense. It's just, I don't identify with that term, so therefore I'm not it. And I've said this before, I've used this analogy before. Do you steal things? Yeah, I steal things. Oh, so you're a thief? No, I don't identify with that term. But you steal things, that's what thieves do. You do what thieves do, you're a thief. No, I don't identify with that term, sorry. That's the stupidity of this. That's the stupidity of the world we're living in, where people can just say they're something. Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. And then they're that thing. Even though there's definitions and applications to that and da-da-da-da. Like, it's just a weird thing. And I think Star Wars, I think Disney here is kind of perpetuating that idea that you can just decide what you are and your actions have nothing to do with it and how you treat people has nothing to do with it. Okay, and then it says he would consider himself part of a different order. Well, what do you mean to do, dude? I don't care what order you're part of. If you're doing exactly what they do, that's what you are. Like, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. While Star Wars generally stays away from derogatory names, it has developed its own language of Star Wars curse words. Yeah, whatever, I don't need to talk about that. Other Star Wars expletives include Carablast, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Sith-based derogatory terms were used in Legends. It's possible that the term Sith started as a derogatory term used by the Jedi when it came... No, it's not! Oh, and the now non-canon Legends continuity terms like Sith Pit and Bane's Blood were used as derogatory terms by the Jedi. The term Bane's Blood originates with the Sith Lord. Yeah, so it's based on them. Sith Pit is based on the Sith. The Rule of Two is also part of canon and explains why there were never more than two Sith at any time, which I think was a bit of a silly thing. I know people love it. It's kind of dumb, if you think about it. Like, well, I'm only going to have one apprentice, and I'm going to make sure that apprentice becomes more powerful than me and then kills me. Okay. Like, it's pretty stupid, but whatever. With a history of Jedi creating derogatory terms for dark side users, it's not too much of a leap to consider that Sith was itself a derogatory term used by the Jedi to describe their enemies. It's possible that the term Sith started as a derogatory term when it came to dark side users. Sith could have, over time, reclaimed the word and then used it for the name of their order, possibly to mock the Jedi. Are you trying to, like, connect this to the N-word screen rant? Like, is that what we're doing now? Well, there's not much evidence for this. Details regarding the origin of the word Sith may be revealed in later episodes. The Acolyte or Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past them. Mangold will probably do that, even though we already know where the term Sith came from. Sith may have claimed a slur for their identity, this theory. Yeah, so they're comparing it to the N-word. That's insane. It's been seen in Star Wars media, those who don't conform to the Jedi's way of using the Force are ostracized. Could show that Sith's strength in facing the adversity against the Jedi. If the Sith were being oppressed by the Jedi, it's possible that the only reason there's such strife between the dark and light side of the Force could be because the light sought to overcome and dominate the darkness. It's hard to come to the defense of the Sith, especially knowing all the horrible things they've done in Star Wars and most recently the Acolyte. If this theory is correct, however, it adds to a whole new level of complexity. No, you're not... That's like saying a criminal is oppressed. Like, you're a criminal, bro. Like, why am I in jail? Because you murdered a guy. Oh, I'm oppressed. This whole, like, trying to convince the public that it's like this gray area. Like, oh, you're not really that bad. I mean, yeah, you raped a chick, but hey, that's not that bad. Is really weird. It's weird. It's not oppression to be accountable for your actions. It's just called life. So this is ridiculous. So anyway, going back to the origin of the word Sith, I know this might sound crazy, is not in the Sith or the Jedi, it's in the creator of Star Wars. Here's a deleted scene from the original Star Wars film, or a deleted portion of a larger scene. I'm sure you'll recognize the scene. And here you go.
He's gone too far. This Sith Lord, sent by the Emperor, will be our undoing.
So, they always called themselves Sith. George Lucas made up the word Sith. It was not a slur. We're not comparing it to the N-word. It's not an oppressive, derogatory term. It's the term that George Lucas gave the Sith. So they're called Sith. Like, this whole, like, weird connecting it to modern... Like, what are they doing? Like, Star Wars is in the hands of... And media-wise, too, in the hands of some of the weirdest people that read stuff into it that is so insane to me. Like, again, like, oh, Kylo Ren wasn't a Sith, Qimir's not a Sith. Again, it's like, bro, it's not that deep, man. It's not that deep, They do everything Sith do, they're Sith. Sith is not a derogatory term, it's made up by George Lucas. These people are so weird and corny. And I guess that's why this new Disney, Star Wars, Disney Plus stuff appeals to them, because they're just not super smart, I guess. They're just like, just kind of dumb. I don't know how else to describe it. Anyways, guys, if you, let me know in the comment section what you think. This is so stupid. Derogatory term. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Always helps the channel. Feel free to check out anything else on my channel. Have yourselves a really good day.